What are you doing here? What are you doing here? I hope you came for some CRT action, because let's face it, that's really all I've got to offer you. Now in a moment, I'm gonna be bringing on my tag team partner. That's Zez Retro. And he may be an ocean away, but he's gonna be coming with the same heat. Because folks, it's Friday. It's time to get fired up. I have another beautiful barn find CRT to show you. But I need something. I need you to do something. We're live here. I need your help. I need to get this message out to the millions and millions of CRT fans around the world, to let them know that we're here studying what was supposed to be dead. We're here resurrecting old lovely tech. So, what can you do? First off, you can click the like button. That's it. Really. That way everybody will get notifications. You could share it. But either way, you can chill, hang out. And right before I bring on Zez, let's take a look at this amazing $10 CRT that I got from the barn. All right, so this one we're going to be looking at today is a Sanyo. Look at that. What does that say? Anna Mayhem was here? Weird. All right. This is the one we're working on today. Or we're at least looking at it. Let's see. Interesting. I'll get a closer look at this in a second, but for now, let's get this thing up and out of here. And I do have an update for you as we walk through the CRT zone. Whoa! And I bang into the wall out to the shop. Let's go. Well, something's running in here already. Oh, yeah. So here's yesterday's TV. This is the Sylvania 13-incher that I tore apart. And I'll tell you some more about this one. But I just want to show you, yeah, it's working. I actually restored it. I went in and recapped it, adjusted it. It's got some air zonk right now. The bad news is it's not really modifiable for RGB. So it's just going to be a lovely little RF set, but I'll get into more of that with Zez here in a second. So anyway, there's that Sylvania. Now this one's going to be going in here in the shop. We're going to be looking at the Sylvania, all right? So let's get set up. Ooh, wow, whew. I'm tired from carrying that thing. Goodness gracious. Zez, are you alive? Are you with me there, friend? Are you here?
Yes, I am. Oh my God, Steve, that was great. Look at this guy. He's making introduction. What gave you the inspiration to make a whole? What part of today did you go, I need to make a video introduction? When did that penny drop?
I kind of did it yesterday's video, so I was having fun, and I was like, well, you know, let's crank it up a level. Not just going to start out. I mean, maybe that way it'll get more views on the playback, and somebody will laugh about it. I don't know. It does give me a chance to just go off and act all retro wrestling man for my dreams, you know. So
Classic. I listened. So when we're doing it here through the Discord, we're recording this through Discord because we're high technology people. I can't hear the audio, so I had to listen to it like from YouTube, like the common citizens are, and I get a bit of a delay. But I also hear the stereo with my headphones. I don't know if none of y'all will listen with headphones. When you're walking along, you hear the bang in the left, and then as you're walking to the shed, you can hear a fly buzzing in the left ear only in stereo, right on this one. And I'm like, okay, Steve lives out in the bush here.
There you go.
Yeah, so get full experience in stereo headphones with Steve's beautiful videos.
Yeah, up in the quality here of the live streams, hopefully.
Hello to everybody in the chat. How y'all doing?
Yeah, if there's anybody left after that intro, that heated intro, I hope you're fired up. I hope you got real warmed up and fired up. And I'm so hot, I'm going to get this sweatshirt off now. So,
yeah, dude,
what's up, Tez? How's it going, man?
Dude, it's hot over here, man. It's like 25 degrees. This is supposed to be the frozen north. But we've been hot. So, been a busy week, but a good week. Had a good time. Yesterday, what was it? This week, I went to Riga in Latvia. That's the country below. And I gave a keynote talk about leadership down there, bit of a public talk, about 20 people, talked about some leadership stuff. Traveled 4.5 hours, gave a 30-minute talk, and then traveled 4.5 hours back again. That was a great day. And then before that, I was giving a full-day training course teaching a different IT company about leadership stuff. So good to get out there, like getting out in front of people, like teach people. That's my thing. Yeah, just been working hard today, and now it's good to end the week. Wind down and enjoy the stream with you, and tell us about your week, Steve. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the stream yesterday. How did repairs go?
Oh yeah, that one was pretty good. That so what I worked on yesterday was just a another 13-inch. I paid $20 for that one. And what's up, Ariel? And so I just went out to a barn again, like I showed. I think we talked about the clips of this where I'd gotten 4 CRTs, so I figured I'd just keep messing around with them and periodically throughout the next month or so. And this is the second one. So the first one was yesterday, was this awesome looking wood grain one. And I worked it, I opened it up, and man, it had the freaking biggest zap I've ever seen. Like, it scared the crap out of me. It was such a big zap, like boom. And then when I discharged it, and then it kept, I have to keep discharging the tube over and over again. It would keep recharging and zapping really strong. I even went back today and did it a third or fourth time, and it still was zapping.
It was still zapping, yeah, but you hadn't plugged it in.
No,
it was just had
like it was
zaps
just the tube.
Wow.
So, because I was about to go back in there and clean inside the tube. It was real dirty, and I was like, I'm discharging it again before that, and it went psst, and I was like, oh my goodness, like a regular TV would. So, anyway. That's
interesting, like, because we, often when we're speaking of CRT safety, it's like, do the discharge, that's the thing. But you're now saying you just really got to be careful. Like, it could just still be, you zap it once, you may need to zap it again.
Oh, yes. Especially on some of this stuff. They'll just rebuild, like that current still stays in there a little bit and it recirculates in the same vacuum environment and like builds up a little bit more and zaps again. So that was, zapped. But the I went on Twitter after the show and I started trying to do so. I got a mosquito in here. It's driving me crazy because I know he's going to bite me.
The one I heard on the videos.
Anyway, the chassis, I took the chassis out. I worked on it a little bit on stream. I kept working on it yesterday, and then I couldn't find the service manual for this one. It was behind like a $25 paywall. And so I was like, I'm not doing that, obviously. And then so I just started taking it apart. I found the chips. I found the data sheets for the chips, and I found RGB possibly. So I thought maybe I could RGB mod it, but I found out that it's a hot chassis, so it's not really RGB moddable through any, because it means it's like it doesn't have isolation for the main power coming in. It's got a little bit, but not enough. It's pretty much hot.
And so even though this is a 1990s television, it's not got the safety features built into it. And then it only took in like TTL RGB. It doesn't have, I mean, there was places for sync on the Jungle chip, but it didn't, again, it just didn't have enough to work with it. So it's pretty much just staying the way it is. So I restored it and...
Take us through one more time. I kind of forget this as well. Maybe a few people do. What does hot chassis mean? Is it that you can't inject another signal into it? It's not isolated. Tell us a bit more.
No, so it actually just means that, like, let's look up a better term here so I don't say something sounds stupid. But basically, what it means is there's when you get like a PVM or a higher end CRT, the power comes in and then it's isolated amongst its own section in the board. There's a bunch of transformers that basically step it down to the 12 volts to 5 volts generally, maybe 15, that the TV is going to use for functionality throughout the majority of the chassis. Of course, it's still going to run high voltage into the flyback and then into the spots of the tube that it's supposed to. But instead, there's not like it's just a way of getting rid of a lot of that power supply hardware and stripping it down. You only have one input, so you're not concerned about shorting other inputs out, I guess. Let's see what a good definition of that would be.
Well, you're doing that, saying hello to everyone in the chat. Steinholm, good to see you, buddy. Wait, that's Iceland flag, is it? Wait, tell me. Or Greenland. Fuck, sorry. Oh, you white Scandos look the same to me. Runo, good to see you. Legendary K4. Michael Hardiman, is it bourbon time? From the moment you wake up. Ariel Ace is there. Rob Cat. Nice to see you all. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're in the chat, shout out, say hello.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So I found some stuff on the CRT database here. So it says a CRT with a hot chassis just means that the ground on the chassis is tied to one side of the AC input from the wall, and touching it with your hand will complete a live circuit through your body to the earth to the ground. So it's much more dangerous, obviously, to work on these because it's not isolated. So I have an isolation transformer, and that's what, if we open this one, we'll use that to power it on. Right now it's safe, because I don't know, this one might be the same way. Because this one's just RF too, the one that I'm looking at today, if we look at it more. But basically it doesn't isolate it out and ground it, to a proper ground, it sounds like. Let's see if there's anything else written in here. Yeah, hot chassis. Well, see, if you use like a hot chassis and you could burn out a lot of equipment, obviously, too, if you complete a grounded circuit improperly. And you could, I guess get yourself stuck in a hot live circuit. Not Indeed. Explicitly grounded through the power cord, right?
Oh, okay. So you've maybe got that two-prong power cord.
It means, it's just two-prong power cord. The chassis can take on a charge from the line. So that's another reason is there's a possibility of shorts more if you use more. There's not. That's why it's probably just got the RF input. Because there's a way that it doesn't, it's all shielded, I guess, by itself, so it doesn't short. Which is interesting. Okay.
Nice. Ariel's in the chat, and he's saying he's very kind of him, and he's saying, can he have my address? Because he would like to send me some of those amazing new retro tech stickers. And Ariel, this is not a big country. Just address it to Zez in Estonia. It'll get to me. Don't worry about it. No, I'll send you. We'll talk later, buddy. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And
yep. Estonia. There's probably not another one.
No, don't worry. The customs people, they know me. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I'll contact you later.
Let's All right, so yeah, we've got our set here. Should be ready to go if I power this one on. Okay. Sounds like it. Ooh, there we go.
So the question that I have going into this, Steve, is why are we doing Tate on this one particularly? Is there some Tate reason?
Yeah. Here we go. Well, my workshop camera froze on me, so I'm gonna have to reset.
Yeah, we're going everywhere. It's great.
Right?
We got some over the head.
So we'll go over here real quick first, but then we'll go and I'll try
Good.
to get this camera reset. We'll get it. It's giving me some trouble.
While Steve's doing that, we can open up the debate in the chat. Is it Tate or Tate? Weigh in. Tell me, Japanophiles, what is the correct pronunciation?
Right. So let's see what happens now if we get a cam. No, let's. Yeah. So I'm sure I can fix this. Hang on 1 second with us.
We're getting there. That
That's the
camera's
love
frozen up.
thing about the live stream, baby. Let's see. Come on back to me. Come on back to me. It's not wanting to come back to me at all.
Do a little reset on it, maybe, or something.
Yep. I'm trying to.
Instead of tech support, I am pull the power. Gee, you're very useful, Lewis. It's not Tate. It's definitely Tate. Yes. Tate mode. Tate.
All
Ronnie.
right. That's really.
Totty Totty. Tatey Wadey.
Wow.
And then we can continue on the halfway to a fight discussion about should you move a CRT into Tate mode while it's turned on? Oh my God, James Boone, hello sir, Ronnie, there you go, buddy.
Well, this thing's completely gone from me now. Of course, right when you try to use it.
Thyme, hey buddy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The camera just like totally crapped out.
Keep going.
and
We
disappeared.
can talk in the chat here. We got some time. Because there was a
Yeah.
while ago.
Oh, there we go. Hang on. Wow.
Oh, we got it.
Just finally.
There was a while ago. There was a video or some clips going around of this dude who'd created this full wooden enclosure for his CRT, and it was like a barrel, and it like a game show, and it would spin, and you could spin the TV from regular to Tate, and just like you're on a cheap, like, I don't know, Wheel of Fortune or bingo. And it was cool. My only concern was, I mean, usually I wouldn't think to rotate the TV while it's on, but I guess if it's all in one kind of smooth rail thing, it's not such of an issue. I wouldn't generally recommend, but I mean, look, Steve, he's going to throw it around the room anyway.
Yeah, see, it still gives me a little bit of hue thing. It'll probably correct itself, but I could go degauss it. But this is the reason I like the shell on this particular one just has a really good side on the other side. And up here is the speaker. You can see it's kind of got some exposed grill thing going on in the design. But since there's no speaker on the other side, it's just straight flat. And so it sits nicely on its side. Like, it doesn't need any other... Like, it's hard to find ones that can just sit stably, like, on their side like this, I feel like.
That is true.
I found other ones that have this and can't sit on the side like this because then they wobble.
Yep. Exactly. These two I've got here. Exactly.
So I thought this would be
situation.
like really cool for one of the booths. I would restore it.
Oh yeah.
Worst, I could restore it. Best case, mod it, but it's probably going to be the same way as the other one. The camera just went out on me again. That's okay. At least we got to show it a little bit. It's just totally.
What console are you running into that TV currently, Steve?
So right now, it's maybe I can bring it closer. Right now I have a Dreamcast running to it.
Oh, right on. Cool.
I'm running this Neo XYX game, which is from NGV Dev Team, which is like just an independent studio, I think, that makes mostly arcade stuff. They made like that Krautbusters game or something that came out a few years ago for Neo Geo mostly. But they have they make the Gunlord. They distribute the Gunlord game for a lot of these games that are on Dreamcast that are like secondary unlicensed games that have come out in the last decade or 15 years.
And is that
And this
RF
one is
or
one of
composite
them,
going?
and this is RF coming from composite from the Dreamcast into the
Mr.
Reflex,
Add-ons
which
box?
I guess I just knocked it out or something. There we
So
go.
yeah, running into the Reflex adapter, which is a fantastic product from Mr. Add-ons. You can pump composite video and audio, and it'll output RF. So it's an amazing product. If you've got an RF only TV, you can use it with composite in. It's not that expensive either. It's not in stock the last time I checked. But when it's in stock, it's only like $30. It's really a no-brainer if you've got an RF.
Let's bring this thing up here a little bit more. So it's RF only. Honestly, the picture on this one looks better than the one after I restored it on the other one. This one can't tell what it's from because it's been scratched off, but it's from the 1990s in some point because it says 19 something.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not 1980s, but yeah, it's pretty simple.
It's what you want.
Still
Just a
got some
good, solid,
cobwebs.
simple set.
Yeah, if you want it, I bet this thing it's gonna be a hot Chelsea too. So maybe we'll find that out in a second. I'll probably zap everybody, or just me, not everybody.
Just you, yeah. I want to see
there
how
it
that
goes. That actually looks better. So maybe it's a good thing this camera went out.
Sure.
So
We'll
we'll
get
just
both
hang
of
out
you.
and look at it here. So
Looks nice. I mean, that's so awesome. So that is composite into RF.
And it comes, that's one of the cool things about like this particular game is that it comes with an option to run it and flip the screen Tate mode so that you could just flip your CRT, right? So normally the standard mode would be, flipped and wider. But this one has a Tate mode built into the ROM or the game.
Sure.
And so that's what makes it
right. I was about to ask. I know that it's very common on Mister, but I know your Mister is inside of the big red cab, so I was curious as to what you're doing.
So
with Tate.
screen, right? It says arcade. See?
Mm-hmm. You gotta creak the neck a little bit.
It's horizontal. Like that would be if I had the TV set in normal mode.
Yep.
So I leave it on arcade.
It's looking nice. Going to the chat here. Hi, Smasher. Joss. Chris is loving his Reflex. Smash has been thinking about our RGB mods on US Trinitrons. That's a very interesting. Going 50 hertz for a US Trinitron. Okay, supports 50 hertz. Yeah, probably supports 50 hertz, but can only anyway.
Yeah,
we've got it here going on. And James Boone's using his local barcade. He's actually James has just been saying that he's contributed a couple of his sets for a tournament of Capcom versus SNK at his local barcade. That's pretty awesome, taking them down, helping your community out, hauling down sets. Hope they're not big ones, dude. Hope they're more like 14 inches for your back's sake.
Right. So that's what I kind of, even though these ones are just RF, I probably wouldn't want something that was new or that, like, if there was something bigger, I don't really want RF sets only that are probably bigger than this size.
Yeah. That's, 13, 14?
13, yeah. So I really, because these are, like you said, easy to throw around. And I feel like if they got just basic servicing, they're going to be fine to work for a long time. Like this one probably doesn't even need any capacitor to work. It does need some adjustment because it's not very focused. Like the focus is out a bit, but it's like, but when it gets bigger than this, it makes me wonder if it's something that remember those CRT chassis we were looking at on AliExpress that were generic that have more inputs. That would be interesting to use that set. Maybe that, because think about it, that's probably what those new sets are. We might have just figured all this out. Remember the new Chinese CRTs? They probably found these that did RF only, and I'm wondering if that chassis, you just throw it in with this and their new shell, and it works. So
Wait, but then how did they get the new inputs into it?
they have their own. Remember, they were basically the only thing that was new was they were custom making the plastic molding.
Mm-hmm.
So you could take the tube and the tube and the deflection yoke off of this, and then put on that replacement chassis, generic chassis that had different inputs, and then they would already have a plastic mold that fit that chassis.
You know, I think it's telling that none of these sets have popped up. No one. I know of Barry in Australia who had to go.
Pictures of them.
He had a bad experience. It was a bit hard to get in communication with Barry, so I didn't get a lot back out of him. But if they were good, something would have happened there. And everyone said they were dog shit, and it seems like they are. So I think it's unfortunate. They are what they are. So that set there, it's really, if I take a step back and I think about why do we love this hobby? Why do we like CRTs, playing on them? What is the purpose? Is it to have the highest line count, or is it just to have just a great old CRT that reminds us of the good old days, to connect up a console, have a bash, have a play? That is an awesome set to do it on. It's easy. You can find it. RF or one of those adapters. It looks good. High quality composite on a good old consumer set is just in its own way. It's not BVM. It's something different. And when you're looking for that, it's a great option.
Yeah, because you're still getting the best parts of the CRT. You're still getting like really good blacks. You're still getting no input latency. You're still getting, it just looks right, of course, with analog video, even though it's generally, that you'll find wild quality difference, obviously, in the playback and what looks better. But sometimes you find some that just look really good. And it's so cheap, and then you don't even have to, then you're not even worried about, if you get just gaming on that, you could have the cheapest form of consoles. You don't have to have everything RGB modded. Yeah. You could just worry about getting RF, or even just getting this, or like a nice VCR. If you find a nice VCR, then you have that instead. And you really do get again, I bought this for $10, and I think it's realistic to find something like this for $10 or less. Now it's dirty. It's not, like I said, it's out of focus at least, so I know I can fix that. But yeah,
I think so too. And for people who maybe don't understand the different types, there's RF, which is the antenna, then composite, and RF. When RF is great, it's composite. Like it's when RF is at its highest quality, it's more or less equivalent to composite video. So if you use an adapter like the Reflex from Mr. Add-ons, you're sending the best possible quality RF into that set. You're having just a really authentic time. So, Steve, what are we going to do with this monitor today? I'm just gonna,
as we get to see it a little bit, and we'll start tearing it down. I'll definitely gonna do that isolation transformer here, so we can debut that machine.
So that's a whole separate. You're going to power it through this isolation transformer, and that
correct,
is useful if you've got a hot. Okay, so that's if you've got a hot chassis without a ground, this is a safety precaution you can take. Is that right?
Yeah, that's basically the only thing you can do, from what I understand, is to try to put it on its own circuit. And then it isolates it on its own, and then you're using everything and yourself outside of that. So, it's a good time, because I just bought this thing a couple months. Nah, maybe a month ago. So,
was that the really old one, or was it a new?
It's old. No, that's
really
what
old
you
one.
had. Yeah, and it was it wasn't working, but it had just had a fuse blown in it. So I had to go to the hardware store and buy a fuse, but I bought it off eBay, and they stopped making them like 10 years ago. And super, like, I don't know, but they're like $200 if they're still used, right? Because they're made by the same company that does the BK, that does like the testing equipment and the CRT rejuvenators and stuff. So this is like the same annoying bolt pattern as yesterday. What's
annoying about it? Why is it
it's like a hex bolt that's in some small size, but okay. I spent like 15 minutes trying to get it unscrewed yesterday on stream. But
I was gonna say, did you turn on the stream and then realize?
Thanks to that experience, I know what we can do with this.
Did you turn on the stream yesterday and then realize you couldn't even open the TV?
Yeah, I was sitting here. I had to. Yeah, that's what I'm about to have to do is go get my setup to. Well, no, it's right here. Should be. I think it's in this. And then I got to get a screwdriver for it. Okay. So this is like odd sized from. Ugh.
While you're doing that, I'll explain the project.
You go ahead.
I'll go ahead. You're doing that. While you're doing that, this is the project that I'm going to be working on over the weekend. It's not a big one, but so this is Pokemon Pinball. How can we focus in on Pokemon Pinball right there? That's Pokemon Pinball for the Game Boy, and these old school cartridges. That's a battery because it's got a rumble in it. So before rumble was in your controller, the cartridge has rumble in it. And it works. I tried it out. It's quite small rumble. If I play it on the Game Boy, then you can feel it. It's definitely there, but it's not super strong. So I had an idea. I don't know what difference this is going to make, but I went to AliExpress and I bought this replacement rumble motor. Can't get a focus on that there. There we go. I bought this. It looks like a really tiny vibrator. I know. And it's just basically a rumble motor that works off 3 volts as well. And this is 3 volts as well because it's a AAA battery. So I'm just going to solder this one in and it seems to fit and just see, do I get a stronger rumble out of it? Kind of wish I could like supercharge rumble, but let's see. Do the rumble mod. I couldn't find much information out there about this would work, so it'd be a cool write-up if it does work. So basically stick the mini robot tampon into the Pokemon Pinball cart. I've got a few of these. A lot of them don't come with this little battery cover that's on here. It's quite common when you find them now to not have that cover. There's a lot of 3D printed designs out there, so if you've got a 3D printing, pretty easily make one. This is the PAL version, or rather just Euro version, I guess you would say, because it's not PAL or NTSC because it's Game Boy. But I've got a couple of the Japanese ones as well, and they do have the case on them. And do like me a pinball game. I'm old enough to remember and like pinball. So I do like it on that. So that's my project for the weekend.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah, people were laughing about yesterday. I was rummaging through my tools. You saying I was going through my granddad's toolbox, which is true. It's a bit of truth and everything. But these tools, this old socket set, is literally crap I found in my granddad's house. That was like leftover tools that I took with me. And there's so many of random tools that you find that you're like, holy crap, you know, like these needle nose pliers are just like the best, perfect needle nose, high quality steel that I could probably never find anymore. And it's just like you find this crap. But I finally got these screws coming out, or bolts.
They don't make them like they used to. By the way, Granddad's, I found it in Granddad's toolbox. Sounds a little bit dirty. I'm not quite sure how, but just.
I think that like half the stuff I said is like, it's like Michael Scott from The Office. You could do like dirty jokes from about half the things that I'm talking about when I'm messing with a monitor or a television. So yes, I found the right size. You see my setup, Lewis? I don't have.
Yeah, you got it.
I've got to stick the screwdriver in there because it just basically make a nut driver out of this thing.
Nut driver. Here we go.
There we go.
Boom! I should put a scorecard up of everything, all the innuendos we said today.
That's what I was laughing.
Grandpa's toolbox, the nut driver.
And we'll have we need to have somebody sit back and just make stupid live audience noises. like the wrestling thing at the beginning. We'll have the crowd cheering as I just stare at the camera for a minute and it says live, retro, or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I am sure that those video introductions are only going to get more intricate and edited now. You've got a taste for it. Steve sniffed the blood and he is going for the throat on these intricate wrestling style drama-filled introductions.
If you missed the beginning, you really missed out on something special. You have to watch.
Yeah, go back. If you just join them in now, look, stay on, but go back and watch the first 4 minutes of the stream. Steve did an amazing introduction. He's putting an effort. Good on him.
All right. So, playing our doctor here, removing that. But I was laughing, going out to that barn. First off, I was like, dude, am I going to get stabbed out here? And so I felt a little, first I felt a little bad because, I told Roger I couldn't buy his CRTs,
Oh,
so
yeah,
Roger,
8-bit Esquire.
He was like, I'm about to sell my CRTs. And I was like, well, man, I'll be honest with you. I can't do it right now because I missed a screw, of course. I had just had everything come from the show. But as you know, I told you guys that I had my stupid motor blew up in my vehicle. And so that wound up setting me back a good amount of money. So I was like, I can't really buy the CRT lot right now. And then I was like, well, then I went and bought a CRT lot right after that. But this was a $80 CRT lot for 4 of them, and more again for research.
Yeah, Roger doesn't pick up the phone for 80 bucks.
Right.
Okay.
So here we go. So
here we go.
Oh
Top's
my
coming
gosh! Off. Look at this jerry rig stuff. This is gross.
What is that? The power cable?
Yeah. It's like somebody cut the power cable at one time and taped it back. That's why you gotta have an expert in here. There's no way this is a nice. Ooh, no. This actually does have a couple more transformers in it. And it does have a mapped out. This might actually be isolated.
Ooh, okay.
Which is step 1 to even it having a possibility of being modded. So that's good. But dude, this thing, holy moly, it is disgusting inside. It's got a solid layer of duty dust right in there. But you can't really see that well. Let me see if I can get this at least to give me some light over in here. Man, I wish that camera was working. But let me see if I get that camera set up, and then we're gonna pull this board out of here. There's bugs living in here. This has got all the goodies you want in a CRT, right?
Right, exactly why it costs 20 bucks.
Yeah, no, this is 10.
10, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get and cockroaches come for free, right on.
Right on, cooked ones too.
And we've got cable the power cable has been spliced in. So what you reckon someone's cut the power cable at one stage?
It probably got thrown out. Maybe the guy even that I bought it from just found a power cable and stuck it in there for all I know. That might be the one thing he does is he just goes out and finds them. Because it was literally, I went to a barn and I drove 20 minutes out into the country, which you came out here and visited me. It was out.
Dude, you already live in the country.
I know.
This
so
dude really lives in the country.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not it's a bit dodgy every time you go out to somewhere like that. And I pull in and Comes out from the barn. It's like something out of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? You're waiting to happen out there. And so
And you connected with this dude on Marketplace?
Yeah, he was on Marketplace. See, the thing is, I'll have a video coming. I videoed a bunch of stuff. I told him I was going to take pictures of the CRTs, and I just started shooting video while I was in there. And he's like, dude, he says, I mean, he had 4 of them. He had another one that wasn't working at all, but it was like, I'm showing the video. It's like it's this truly isolated. I mean, not isolated. It's old, like probably 70s Zenith. And it was covered in like rust and didn't work. But he baited me over there basically with Marketplace having this really cool like wood grain 80s 2 Zenith that worked. And I was like $60. I was like, dude, I really want that TV because it looked really nice. It was probably 17 inches or something. And so I got there and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I sold that TV yesterday. And I was like, oh, great. Well, did you have some, right? And he said, yeah. So then he started showing me all these. And then he's like, I was like, all right, I'll take them all. How much you want for all of them? And he's like, $80. Like, all right, I'll do $80 for this time. And I was like, he started saying, oh, I got one more up in my bedroom if you want to go get that one. And I was like, oh, no, I think I'll leave you with one so you have something to test with. And then, so I was like, this is good enough. And then, of course, you get out there in the sticks, and the rural Americans, they love talking about my car, because that's what I'm driving is my old man Mercury Grand Marquis. So that's what I was driving in, and I was like throwing the CRTs in that. And he's like, oh man, that's great Grand Marquis. I should have never sold mine. So, yeah. Cecil.
It's better than you turning up in the Audi. So yeah, I mean, if you want to,
the Audi,
if you want to connect with him, build a relationship, maybe get a better deal, show up in that car. Don't show up in the Audi. What are you doing, you New York homosexual person with your German car coming around here? Better to connect with him with the classic car. Grand Marquis. It's like driving a couch down the road. It
is, dude. It's so comfy. This was funny. The Audi motor, the motor blew about 100 miles from my house with the family in the cars late at night. And thankfully I was still able to make it home on 5 cylinders. And I got home and I was like, man, I knew the motor was blown. I don't know why. I don't know how. And I just did. I had a feeling. But anyway, I was thankful to get home that night, but that car was out of commission. Like, I had to find a motor, get the guy to install it, so that took a little bit of time, 3 weeks or something. So my wife was having to drive the old car around. She hates driving it, because it's a land yacht, and it's hard to drive. It's super. I got the whole front end redone, so it's super touchy. It's like a freaking NASCAR. Like, you do like this, and you're like it is super touchy now. So she has a hard time driving it, but she was having to drive it around, and she had to take her boss out and drive her across campus in it. And she's natively from China, so she jumps in it, and she's like, "Oh, this is amazing. This is the most amazing vehicle I've ever seen. It's like a giant couch in here. So comfortable." Oh, I love the Grand Marquis. So it was funny. She's like, yeah, every time I go now, people just laugh and want to ride in the Grand Marquis. All right, Lewis, it's gonna be pretty easy to get this board out. It's just gonna need to be discharged.
There we go.
So I've got.
Oh yeah, have you done that yet? No, you don't have to do it yet. Okay.
I'm gonna let's see. I just want to unplug pretty much.
What's a
everything?
Mark Bessett in the chat? A 2007 Buick Lucerne. I don't even know what that model is. That's some super American stuff. I gotta look this up. Buick Lucerne. Oh dang.
So yeah, I also was talking about that guy's what was it? Which he was to come on. Steve, he sent me an email, said he'd come on and talk about his car some more too.
Oh, the dude with the awesome CRT car.
Yes.
Is that the one you mean?
Yes, and he's an expert on that stuff, so we can have him come on and chat about it with us. And he could probably I probably get him to take some more video or something of it, other things on it. All right.
Yeah.
So
Wait, did you release that? Did you release that video yet?
No, I haven't made a video since I made my hour-long like repair-a-thon.
Yeah.
I do have a video. I think I'm going to release it tomorrow. It's uploaded. It's about 25 minutes. It's the detailed RGB mod guide for the Toshiba, where I went and I showed you all that close SMD work. That's finally done. I've just got to push go on it. And then I figured I'd do these streams before I did that. And then after that, I'm going to have maybe a combo. Well, that would be in the next video, probably something on that car. Because that'll be shorter too. Ooh, I bet this thing's going to zap.
Yeah, what's going on? Oh, yeah. It's zap time, ladies and gentlemen. We're
Let's see
getting close.
if I've got to try to get this camera to come back to life here.
Okay,
Before I just give up.
Anode cap up the top there.
Oh!
That is where.
It's like I almost got smacked with a ding dong in my face, you know?
Steve's big orange ding dongs just flopping around.
If you want to know where the mic is hidden, there you go.
Classic slapstick comedy.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's see if we can get this
All right, one more try on the
camera. There, that's the last dyed vision from it. So.
Monitor.
All right.
Oh yeah, I like how the Sanyo badge is a little bit off.
Yeah, I know it, and I can't get it to like straighten out. I think I have to take it off, but I kind of like the character it gives it of that sideways logo like that. So let's get this silly thing out of here.
Chris in the chat. Yeah, I've heard all about yesterday's discharge. It was an amazing. By the way, boom, that's number 4. Yesterday's discharge. That is number 4 on today's killer list of great lines.
Yep, there you go. Got to be here live, folks.
You got to hear it.
Everything's happening here. This is... Oh, come on, baby. I think I might have a little life. Come on, let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Everybody, it's our lucky day. Look at this. Look how close.
We got it. We got it.
All right, let's do that, please. 1980. All right, I'm going to keep it at that. Let's do it. Oh, that is live.
Boom.
That is live, everybody.
We did it.
All right. I'm going to be very careful here.
Okay, the anode cap. It's today's discharge, baby, not yesterday.
This one's on there good. I'm going to have to look at it.
The best part is when Steve falls over from getting zapped, we can call 911.
Hello. No, please do not do that yet.
No, please do not dox Steve. No.
Oh boy, this is a wacky,
lifting up a naughty girl skirt.
Wacky one. Okay. I think it's gotta go. There we go. See, so I use my magic tricks to get it off there. It's not been discharged. Oh, you know, it might help to have my discharge tool ready. Hang on.
Yes. Discharge tool. So Steve's got to get his little tool. It is basically just a screwdriver with a ground wire connected, and you connect
don't
one
see
end
how this
to
could
the
be
ground.
crazier than yesterday's. Although this is a closer view than yesterday.
Okay, so you
Connecting
take the end of the
right
wire,
there.
you connect it to a ground.
Woo!
Here we go, baby. Zip, zip, zip.
All right, here we go. All right, guys, watch out. That might be a little shaky. Just kidding.
Go, let's go, let's go.
It might be nothing. Oh man, something just jumped from my thing to that.
Hey, there we go.
Show me the power. The power of Friday there, folks. Zam bam.
Power.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Woo!
We could
Let's
get
see
that.
again.
Let's go again.
Oh, tiny!
Hey! You've always got an extra one after the first one. A little
I
bit of
bet if
extra.
we let it go, like, let's go a minute, and it'll probably zap again.
All right.
Woo! Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and get the replay of this and get it some slow motion.
Oh yes, do that, and then you could send it all over the world.
Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna have an army of nerds telling me I'm doing something wrong because I'm showing the zap or something.
You could just do it and blame me because I'm the one actually doing it wrong.
Any zap there?
No, nothing on the cap there. But you can see how this is kind of a weirder anode cap than usually I don't. I'm trying not to get too close to that thing right now in case it decides to pop me. Usually you don't get this little metal plate here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Inside there. And so I generally take, so what I did, I'll show everybody. What I did is I have this. This is a plastic. This is plastic, 100% plastic, okay? It's not metal. And I flip the cap up. I get under this about a little bit and flip the cap up. And then when I look under there, I'm actually looking for the prong set, right? I'm looking for the prongs. So I basically go, and what I'm doing then is I'm pushing against one side of the prong against the tube anode, and then it's just pushing it together and then pulling back and it releases. And that's like the technical way you're supposed to do that to save the hardware of the CRT. But it's obviously wild sometimes when it does that. But she can, woo! Let's see. Think we'll get another one now?
Let's go. Zap, zap, zap.
Will be 3. Oh! Dude, a 3.
Was there a zap? I didn't see.
I guess I accidentally covered it up. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Thank you, Zap Cash from Body Blow Biscuit Butter, $9.99. Thank you, sir. Some Zap Cash for everybody. I love Zap Cash.
Yeah, I like this guy, $9.99. I love it. It's it's a sale at Target. Okay.
I mean,
thank you. Appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much.
I mean, I'm tempted to like re-energize that and zap it again, but I just unplugged everything.
Oh, yeah.
I just unplugged all, but that shouldn't take me.
Okay, Booney saw it. Okay, it did happen.
Did you see it? Let's see.
So what do you think now? How many, are you going to leave it for another minute and then zap it again, or you reckon it's done?
I might just power it back on and zap it again, just because I want to. Or, well, nah, we just did that. Well, since the camera's working, let's not be too greedy. I'm going to pull this chassis and let's look at it closer.
I mean, we just sit here all day. Right. Power on, zap, just all day. It's the Steve Zap stream.
Yeah. Woo. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a nice shot when we got down there. Okay.
So, the cool thing is, I mean, the yoke's not half bad. It's been seated properly. It looks pretty good. Convergence rings here. You've got it almost inverted, I think, from... Well, normally this is on the top. So I'm guessing the wiring's just inverted to have it on the bottom because, see how it has this, thankfully it has this plastic cover here because if it didn't, you could zap yourself. Hey, Zen.
Yeah, hey, Zen. Hey, buddy. Why do you think that's inverted? Just a weird
I'm not sure. Just the way they set it up.
All right.
But I don't see a branding on this tube, so I'm not quite sure. It's just a green label. Made in Korea. So we'll see about that. It's out of the way for now.
Okay.
I can't believe that thing's zapped 3 times, dude. Like, that's what I mean. If you came back, if you did it that one time, and you came back and you touched it, it would still hurt. Just from the second one. I mean, they get weaker and weaker as they go. So check this out. This is looking more like what.
Can you point it down a little bit more?
Isolated, yeah. That's I'm about to set this up and hopefully carefully. You're very much going to see all this. Let me move this over here.
Amazing.
And we're gonna look closer at this board here. Look at all that.
Oh, baby.
That's like some lovely
grade A quality dirt.
Yeah.
Dust. Caps.
Okay.
What's your quick analysis on the caps? How they looking? They look
too bad. This is like I don't see anything that looks too bad from first glance. So this is what I'm talking about as far as like, this has probably got isolation in it, because if we look over here, and actually I'm going to do a better one, and I'm going to roll this camera so it's not so it's not upside down.
Oh, flipped. Yep.
There we go. For you're dizzy enough. So if we look right here, see it says power right here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually what I mean. Like, this is isolated on its own. See the power? Where the power comes in, and then you've got this transformer right here. Got this transformer too, right? And then power filter cap, power filter cap, resistor. So I would think this is probably isolated, first off.
Okay.
Because there wasn't any of that on the last set, the other one yesterday. And let's see here. If we look at these chips, one of these is going to be the chip that would have like the video information on it, either this one or this one, to RGB mod it. Let's see what else we've got in here. Let's see what's unpopulated. Like if we look over here at AV, there's a lot of unpopulated stuff over here in the video out.
Yeah.
It makes me think there's like video in, right? I mean, it says it, literally says it, video in.
But there's nothing connected
Video
all the way.
in,
There's a
but
lot
if you
of
look,
components.
there's a lot of, like,
a lot of components that are
there's
not
a
there.
lot of components that have just been left out. So it's probably a board that's been used in TVs that would do better things, right? Because it's a pretty darn big board. You see that? So I think this is probably something that may have a better chance of getting RGB modded, first off, because it has that. Now I would have to specifically look at the this is the CPU right there. That's funny. Oh, I think we lost control again of the camera, but that's okay. Whoops.
Would you use one of those Mux dongly things that you were showing in the last stream?
So I would, if I could, yeah. So I would think that even though it does have, that's interesting. It's got like a resistor on there too. I can't really show that, but
yeah, we can't see it.
That's right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get that back to come back.
Such
Rip camera. I know, man. This camera's just like dead. It's got to have a bad connection in it.
What model camera is it?
It's this Nexago, something or other. It's like $100 or something, or it was, but they're pretty good. I just liked them because they go 1080p, 60 FPS, but I can't even run this 60 FPS. I've never been able to run over 30 without it hiccuping. So that's what I mean. There's the isolation block power. Let's see what it looks like on the other side. Tell it's really hot over there. Power coming in, transformer.
So your method for a possible RGB mod is going to be connecting onto its jungle chip or something of the equivalent down the line.
It would be somewhere in between the communication between these chips, probably. And so we could, for example, like what's this chip? Let me see if there's any info on this particular model of Sanyo.
Yeah. Sanyo, yes, it was.
So,
yeah, I mean, if everyone's watching there, you can see up in that right corner how many places are unpopulated on this PCB.
Yeah, all this stuff is.
There's a lot of
and there's even like tons of stuff in this area.
Dude, in the chat, Robert Crease is saying yesterday I dropped a 14-inch Sony Trinitron down from the attic. It bounced on the ladder, smashed a hole in the wall. I wonder if it survived the fall. I haven't dared try it yet.
Oh man, is awesome.
Maybe.
Turn
it on, bro.
It looks okay. Yeah,
looks okay
turn it
on
on
the
now
inside.
and let us know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there's no PCB smashed or something like that.
Like a rock. It's baby.
Dang.
It's made like a rock. All right, let's see. I'm looking up Sanyo. Can't even remember the name of this TV. Sanyo DS13430.
So that large silver box that's in the middle there, that's usually the RF decoder.
Yeah, this is where like the RF. I mean, it comes over here to this coax thing, but that's where it is. Right,
the shielding around it. They usually that's
the
sort of
RF
thing,
input right there.
Similar thing. If you've ever opened up a Super Nintendo or a regular Nintendo, they got that cage at the back. It's got the RF unit in there to protect it from the interference. All right, so they've got the big coaxial cable going to the output in the back of the board.
We could get a service manual, or if it's like everybody's greedy for these service manuals, want more for that than the
yeah, that sucks to pay. Usually you can find them. 25 is stupid.
That was the worst one I've seen.
Yeah.
This one's for sale too.
Big fat power capacitor in the middle there as well.
Like all right, this might be something here. Let's see. Let me see if this thing will give it to me or not.
Jax the Collector in the chat, the RF cage. First of all, why do you want to replace it? If you can kind of prise it open, I've never really done work to the inside of it. Usually I've just been dismantling a set to try to understand a bit more. But I've never sort of had a case where I've needed to repair inside of the RF cage as such. Are you referring to something particular maybe?
Let's see what block diagram. So I'm not, it's like, it won't let me download it for some reason. But I can, it says download, but it's all like garbage.
Jax, tell us more about your NES that's going bad, really fuzzy, and it's from RF, is it? So that's why you're wondering, is the RF cage possibly having a problem? Mark Robinson, I looked up the service manual. I could only see R and G on the chip, no blue. I don't know.
Really? Okay.
At least Mark's thinking along with you as well.
I'm finally in the... Looks like in here. Let's see. That doesn't even look like the right CRT. That's funny.
Yeah, Legendary K4 has an excellent point. Those the RF boxes that on the NES, it might just be reflowing the solder that's going to it. They've got these big chunks of solder that are holding it in.
Those NES ones are real bad. Plus they have they have those big caps in them too that you gotta basically pry open.
You know what? Now you say about it, you're exactly right, Steve, and I was completely wrong in a moment ago. Maybe you can pry it open and look at the capacitors that are in there. The good part for you, Jax, is they're going to be big capacitors that'd be fairly easy to replace. There's usually large chunks of solder holding the whole thing in, but I would open that up. And I guess, Jax, you've got to use RF. That's your whole point, it sounds like. Have you got an RF TV? Is that why you've got to go through RF?
I'm going to look at this chip and see if I could find even just info on it. 016.
Benicio, Steve, the two big white ceramic resistors discharge the big filter cap on the primary, but are they part of the bleed resistor, where the bleed is normally located in the CRTs? Dang.
No, I don't know. Like, there's definitely no bleeder resistor in this set because we just saw it. We just saw it zap 3 or 4 times, so it's not bleeding out anywhere in this one. Usually, I think that's the only thing that makes me think it's like this is because of the way Sony had it made, where they had those boxes on the earlier PVMs and CRTs, where I feel like that would go back through the flyback to discharge. itself some way, and the resistors in there somewhere, or because I don't particularly know. I know that too. I mean, this is never, you can never be 100% with anything, so you always want to discharge the tube and be careful. But if when you turn the CRT off and you kind of hear it make that tss or whatever sound, that's generally the sound of it actually dissipating its energy. Like the tss when it turns off. If it doesn't do that, then there's pretty good chance it's gonna pop. All right, cool. Let's see if I got the data sheet here. Oh, come on. It's not giving me the data sheet for this. All right, so maybe we'll just
what would be your
look at them later. But
right, to wind it back here, your intent was you were trying to work out, would this be RGB moddable? That was your intent by looking this up.
And I can kind of explain that in a hypothetical. If this did have it, what I'd be looking for, right?
But who was in the chat who said, Mark, were you in the chat? Where did you get that document from? I don't know if you can somehow, I don't know if you're allowed to link us through the chat or something like that with a URL, but how did you find that service manual, my good friend?
Well, he could probably send it to me if he look. I probably could find it if I look hard enough. He knows how to say. All right, so let's just say this might not. It's like I said, it's probably one of this chip or this chip. But what you're looking for on here is a place where it has analog RGB in. Okay, it's got to be in. It can't be out, and it can't be digital for this kind of a mod. So you're looking for RGB in first off. Then you're going to look for a signal on the chip that is a blanking signal. It's generally marked with like a Y. And then you could look, and what it does is that's the blanking that trips the OSD, right? And it has to have all that stuff. And so generally speaking, it takes 5 volts to trigger that blanking mode. So you can either hijack 5 volts somewhere off this board where there's going to be a 5 volt test point, and then you put a switch. So you just switch, it energizes 5 volts, and when it does that, your RGB signal is engaged over top of everything else. So that's what you're doing. When it's switched off, it turns it off, TV's in regular mode. So that's like part of the equation. Now, the interesting thing is, too, is since this is not composite video, and that's generally where you're tying in for your audio signal. Or, I mean, sorry, for your sync signal. Excuse me. Like, you're using sync over Luma or sync over composite most of the time, right? So, that's the real interesting thing that I'm not completely sure about. Some of these I feel like probably have sync processing somewhere for the RF signal, because if you send in RGB, you should be able to just send it in directly overriding the RF signal, because that's the way it works on some of the MUX mods. It'll actually send it in, and even if it's on some of, not every TV, but on some of the TVs, if you send in the MUX signal and you turn it on, even if it's on RF, it just goes into RGB mode. So since it's isolated on the power, that's step one. Need to make sure that it has RGB in, blanking, and then obviously you'll be able to find a ground pretty easily. And then you have to find a place for sync and audio. And that's pretty much it. Now, since you don't have, normally you just come down here and you use the composite inputs. But hopefully that's still available probably somewhere in this chipset, where it might just be like composite video sync is on a chip, and then you just tie right in somewhere in here to the sync, and then you use that to send your sync signal in. Same thing with the audio. Somewhere you could probably automatically send in the audio. So
yo Steve, so Mark Robinson was very helpful and pointed me to the service manual. Go to Discord, dude. I put the files.
Cool.
33. There's a bunch of them.
Got
but the
'em.
file
Yeah,
that ends in 33.
I got it.
And I've got it open right now as well.
Okay, let's see.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Thank you for helping us out.
There it is. There we go. Okay, cool.
Appreciate you pointing us to where it is.
Yes.
So.
All right. So let's just pull this over here, and I'm gonna go over to that. And what I'll do is we'll just take a gander at this. If I can, where did I lose it? I know it's gonna pop up somewhere. There we go. Okay.
I don't want to spoil things even more, but Steve, when on your mic, there's a bit of electronic buzzing when you talk as well.
There is. That's probably something grounding over here. It's not. There's like 100 cables.
Kind of comes and goes a bit. It's all right. It's no biggie.
Okay, let me make. Well, this only gave me 1 page of this manual.
Yeah. Can you open it up on stream to show us?
That's what I was trying to do, but I only got 1 page of it for some reason.
Oh, okay. The 33 file has 4 pages that I'm looking at.
Let's
have a
see.
look here. IC50.
What does it end in? Because I just keep seeing one that's just 1 page.
Oh, 33. The file that ends in 33.
Okay. Let me see. File ends in 30.33.
No, it's a PDF. It's
there we go. I got a 4-pager. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got it right here. Finally got it. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Put this over here. Expand it. This is what you're talking about, correct? Let's see. I'm gonna change it to where it's just top. All right, this is it, right?
Yes. This is the file.
Sorry, everybody. We were trying to get this all. Thank you for your help, Mark. Let's go in here. So this is the right chassis. And so we probably have spots here that it shows me there's a lot of 5-volt spots over here. You should get pretty close to 5 volts from those Q points on those transistors. All right, let's go down here and look at these chips. There's the it's funny enough, like there's our tuner, right? You see right there? We were talking about
the cage. Yes.
Yeah, and let's see here. That should be. Oh, okay. Here you go. Look. So if we look at this chip.
Oh, there we go. 21, 22, 23.
Right. So if you look down here. And we look on over here.
Oh, yeah. Right there. RGB.
And we've got here is like some resistors. We might have to like remove these resistors 521, but that's okay. So yeah, see how the blanking is tied into that and it activates all 3 of those kind of?
Yeah, I was going to say, so blanking is next.
There's RGB blanking. And then see there's
horizontal sync
and vertical sync, which isn't good, right? We don't want to have just 2 syncs.
Yeah, that's so how come that's now having 2 syncs is usually associated with VGA with 480p.
So my question is there another spot to send in sync? Is it possible to send sync over here on pin 39?
What's a TVAV? Okay.
I guarantee that's probably the video input, right? So if I'm using composite sync, can I just jam it through 38 or 39 right here?
Could be.
The 38's grounded, so I probably wouldn't use it. It's tied to a ground because I think you'd have to sever that ground. So my question would be, there we go. And then where are we going to go for audio, right? We'll probably have to tie in.
So if you're watching this and trying to follow on, we've got the RGB, we've got the R, G, and the B. Blanking is the pin that will tell the TV to actually use the RGB line. But the last thing we need is sync. And sync tells the screen when to draw. It's absolutely needed to draw the frame properly. Now, usually regular composite, or RGB just has sync, one sync. And you might have heard the term C-sync. That means that means combined sync, not composite sync. Fuck, I get
There's sync over composite and it's composite sync over, right?
composite.
It's so weird.
So sync can be its own signal, C-sync, just one line that's got a sync, and by that combined sync, it means it's got horizontal sync and vertical sync combined together. So that can be a independent line that has sync. You can also get sync from composite video. So you can, if you have RGB, you can just run a composite video in, and it's got the video and it's got sync in it. It'll just pull the sync out. This particular chip, for some reason, off to the end there, has a separate line for horizontal sync and for vertical sync, and that's weird. Usually, when you're dealing with 480p and up, then you've got RGB and then horizontal and vertical. Woo!
Yeah, no,
this is quite
so this is the question, but this is the cool thing. If we figure this out and it works, it'd actually be really cool to add RGB to something like this that has only RF. That's incredible. So, like, yeah, I don't know. Like 47 says stereo, mono. I don't know whether that's just turning it on or off. We can look up this chip and see exactly what it does, and then you can attune the signals based on the chip's. Like, it'll tell you active. It's looking for 100 RIE or whatever IRE at 0.6 millivolts or something, or whatever volts, 600 millivolts. So what I'm looking for here is I'm gonna do this. So we've obviously found those things. Well, there's some other interesting stuff over here about possible audio, but we're going to follow these sync lines, and they're going to be on the next page, because if I look at the sync lines, they still, horizontal pulse, vertical pulse. I wonder if they go into like some sync combiner down here on this other page, because that's it for this page. So
hey,
I don't know.
Nice to see you, buddy.
What's up, everybody? Brightness, contrast. Not really what I'm looking for.
So going to little peek in the chat. So is your PC sending in 16:9, but you're trying to display it on a 4:3? Is that what's happening? The image is small from the sides, so it's squished. Is that what you mean, sir?
Check this out too, Lewis. Look, I found a spot right here. It says composite video.
Oh, you're right. It does.
So if any of this hardware is present.
Okay, can we refer to the actual PCB right now?
Jump in and do that. Let's see.
So R1.
Yeah. Let me pull this over here.
Hey, Edward. Hey, buddy. So actually, while you're looking at that, Edward sent me some cables. He sent me the Dreamcast cable from Albania, where he is, up to Estonia. It is still stuck in customs, I think. Anything that comes into the European Union has to go through customs. I've got to make an online declaration. I could say it was a gift under 45 euros. It said I didn't have to pay. I clicked the yes, but I think it hasn't had a human approve it yet. So hoping to get my Dreamcast cable from Edward any day now.
That's excellent. I'd like to get a Dreamcast cable because I don't have a good Dreamcast option for SCART. All right, so I don't know. Let's see here. This thing says it's composite video. So let's see what that means. 16A. I think it says test point 16A. So I mean, that would probably be the easiest thing to try to find. But God bless America. Get all that dust. I'm about to throw up. 35, 27, 34, 16A. So that would be up here. And it might not have, let's see. R, that's an X. R112 is an X. which is out. Okay, that's
There.
right. That's right here. R112 is an X out. And then it goes into Q101, which is right here. And then, so all this circuitry, guys, all this circuitry my finger's on in your camera. I can't even see the camera because I'm literally looking at the service section here. But this circuit that my finger is in right here, and this test point right here that my finger's on, right there, that's... I'm going to pull this up. This is over here, and this is kind of the thing you could look for, I think. I mean, I'm not any kind of expert. I'm learning a lot about this RGB mod stuff, especially things that don't have guides to them. That's the same as this circuit right over here. Like, there's the test point. There's the gone resistor that's not there. There's the Q101. And then all this stuff, all that was back in the... where my finger was. And what I'm looking at that for is because it says over here composite video, and the composite video, from my understanding, I think it goes through that line right there my cursor is, and I may just be able to tie in right here to this R point, but I don't know. Again, since it doesn't actually have composite video, will it still trip the sync over the whole TV? It's like, we'll see. I guess it would still engage blanking, and it would still be using composite sync, so maybe it won't matter. Maybe just sending the sync there will be the solution, something like that. So this one apparently is a lot more possible, especially too since I have this schematic. Like, this is all much better of a chance to actually be RGB modded. So what I would do before that, I'm going to clean this whole thing up and just verify that. Maybe like even go on one of the forums and check them out, see if I can get any advice there. And that's kind of where I'm going to probably go with this.
Okay.
So I don't know. Did anybody have any questions about this? What we were just looking at?
Yeah, we'll just go through the chat here. There's a bunch of stuff going on there. Sorry, pardon me. I was going to the chat there. So you're going to investigate a little bit later if you can add some components in to restore.
Yeah.
Would this possibly work?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. And then if I can, then I'll be happy to add it. Obviously. Yeah,
sure. So we could, one possibility is to add these components in, and then you'll be able to just connect in composite video. There's another possibility that you could connect onto those RGB points. And so you got a couple of possibilities there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my question for you, Steve, right now. You're a busy guy. Why would you spend 5 more hours RGB modding an older RF TV?
That's a good question. Right? I don't know. I consider this part of my job, but I don't know that that's really, like you said,
entertainment show.
Yeah, and I got to do something for the show, and it's either this or make a. I mean, honestly, it's either do this and have fun with everybody, or try to make a video. And I don't mind doing this. Thought this was something we could all work on together, as opposed to just.
This is a good one,
right?
It's we can understand. We're poking through. When we talk about RGB mods, we're actually looking at it, poking through a PCB. We've learned a little bit today about looking at the diagram and then referring to the actual board to see how that. So this is good stuff, man.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously this isn't solid all the way through this board because I'm not really getting any readings from this test point all the way to the composite video out down here. So, but I mean, that's to be expected. Look at all those parts that are probably missing over in there.
Yeah, there's quite a few. So I guess the hope is, can you just add a couple on hopefully it works.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, if I did RGB mod this, I would be able to easily turn around and sell this.
That's a good point.
At the next show, because it's small. Yep. So I could just take it to a convention and somebody would very easily buy it. Somebody probably will still buy it in RF But obviously, that's not going to be something you could charge RGB price for. No way. So look at that. It's got like a normal and a service mode on the neck board too. That's interesting. Never seen.
What was that? A switch or what?
Yeah,
is that a switch there?
Yeah.
Huh. What do you reckon that does?
Not sure. I'd have to read the manual and see.
Interesting.
Could just put it in a weird mode to make an adjustment. You don't. Who knows? I'm sure that's probably what it does. It's just what adjustment.
And it's right on the neck board too. It's not down in the circuitry or something like that.
So yeah, I mean, this one looks promising, right? Audio
Yeah,
control.
very interesting case study, if nothing else. So what are you going to do? I mean, what would be you're going to think about? You're going to have to poke around a little while later on.
Like I said, I'd probably research just some more on this chassis as far as like the paperwork. And again, then I'll just probably post some pictures of it and ask if anybody has any objections to does this look like it. Again, you got to make sure that that's not, I guess that looks like it doesn't say what kind of RGB that is that's going into that chip. So this is the hard thing that sucks is like this is what you're doing when there's no documentation on somebody doing this one before. That's really why I wouldn't do this. Nobody could pay me to do this because it wouldn't make sense, you know? So it's more about trying to do it and, you know, put my information out there. Maybe it'll help somebody else too one day. So there we go, right?
Cool. Very.
That's about good timing, right? Because I have relatives arriving soon.
Okay.
Family.
All right. Good time. So it's Friday. They stay in for the weekend or just
I think just tonight. They're probably like, oh, we're waiting out in the yard for you.
I've got to go. My partner has been away for a few days and is still away. So I've got one more night of freedom. So we're going crazy. I've got steaks. And so wait, I haven't shown you yet. I got this guy. I got Venom with me. Hey, little Venom.
Oh, that's
you want to
cool.
be on a stream, little doggy? Hey, doggy, you want to be a star?
Yeah.
So I've had him for the last week or so. His name is Venom. He's a mini dachshund, and his owner is a good buddy of mine, and he's a chef, works long hours. So I often take him for a week or more at a time. So Venom and I have been hanging out. We are gonna eat steak together, and then we're gonna go to the doggy park, and you're gonna sniff some butts at the doggy park, and it's gonna be good times. Oh, big yawn.
Oh wow, what a cutie.
This is Venom. Doggy. Okay, I'm sorry. That's showbiz, doggy. All right, that's how showbiz works.
Oh yeah, there you go. Don't care.
Chris, the dog is actually a year and a half old, so the dog is pretty much full size. It's a mini.
Yeah,
it's a mini, so it might get a little bigger, but that's pretty much as big as he gets. And oh my god, the girls, dude! You just walk down the street, girls start talking to you. Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
You sitting down eating your lunch. Oh, another girl wants to come and pat the dog.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful. That's so we'll have steak time.
Yeah, I'm about to go take Cole on a little jog here. Not jog, but a walk. So he'll have some fun too. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today, everybody, and joining us. And I was gonna say thank you for joining me, Lewis. Says.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, appreciate you all. Appreciate you all hanging out with us. Just, you know, watching stuff. Like, it's not like it's just nerdy stuff, but we appreciate that you're also into stuff that we're really into as well.
Yeah, this is fun. I mean, it's like you say, this is kind of like a real life scenario and how you do this. The only ones that are like economical to do like this are ones with, again, the full guide, right? Somebody else has already done all the hard work kind of figuring this out. It's kind of a to show you just how much a lot of people put into things that are in the retro, like, or even modding style community. How many hours people have to put in that they never really get money, sometimes even credit for, right? It's like just it is what it is. So,
and it's a great example with this set. So let's say you've taken an hour and a half now to open it up. It could be a bit quicker, fine, if you weren't on stream. Now you're going to have to poke around. There's no guarantee this mod will work at all. You could poke around for another 2 hours and actually still not get anywhere with this. So there's always that risk with your time too.
Right, and then even if you thought it was going to work, like you say, you build the whole kit out, put it in there, put the TV back together, and maybe you get everything to work but sync. And you can't get sync right. And you can't get, maybe it's sync just is off by a little bit. And you're like, what I need to do? And then you never can get it, or the TV shorts out on you or something.
Yeah.
So thanks again, everybody, for the help, and everybody have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next time, Lewis. We'll have another fun chat next week if possible. And guys, remember, tomorrow you're going to have a wonderful new episode all about adding RGB successfully to a set, okay?
Let's do it. Please like on your way out, if you haven't already, like the video. That really helps the algorithm a lot. Thank you. Okay, Steve, thank you very much, sir. Thank you around the chat.
Have a great day.